Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Alaina, and this is The Organized Money, where we talk about planning life and managing money. In today's video, I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the difference between bills, expenses, and sinking funds within your budget planner. A couple of videos ago, we did a video on how I use my planner in order to manage all of my bills, and I got a couple of questions around the way that I use my planner with my bills versus my expenses, and what about my saving accounts? Like, how do I actually put all of that within my planner? So I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the three different concepts, the difference between the two, and how I track them in my planner. First, let's talk about why this is important. Well, if you mix all three of these categories, if you mix your bills with your expenses and your sinking funds, then your money may end up feeling off from time to time throughout the month. And this is because you don't have a clear definition between the two, and you don't have a clear system around each one of them. So it's important that you understand the difference between the three and you separate them. So let's first start off with bills. Bills are fixed payments that have to happen on a specific date every single month. The characteristics of bills are they are the same amount, or they are really close to the same amount every single month. They are usually due on the exact same day every single month, and they must be paid on schedule. Sometimes they might have a small grace period, but for the most part, they have to be paid on the same day. Examples of bills are your rent or your mortgage, your car note, your phone bill, your utilities, internet, insurance premiums, subscriptions. All of those are bills because you pay them every single month and they are the exact same amount. So with your bills, because they are very specific amounts, they have a deadline, I like to keep a bill tracker for all of these things. Now, I shared a little bit about my bill tracker in that video, but what my bill tracker is, it is a one-page sheet where I keep track of all of my bills. I am writing down everything that is due on a specific day. I write the day that it is due, I write the description, and I write the exact amount. Now, there are some things on here like my water bill or my electricity bill where it is not the exact same amount, but it is around about the exact same thing every single month. And so I like to keep track of those, my subscriptions, and any other bill that I have that is a fixed amount on this bill tracker sheet. The reason why this is so important to keep within your budget planner is because every single month you are going to be filling out your monthly calendar. And if you are filling out your monthly calendar, you need to know exactly when things are due and how much you need to pay on that date. And so having a bill tracker is the way that you can pull all of your bills and add them to the month and be able to easily see when different things are due. So this is how I keep track of my bills in my budget planner. I have a bill tracker sheet. I have given this one out to you all for free. If you're interested in this download, I will link it in the description box below so that you can get this one. It is a free download, so you're able to pick it up. However, if you want it printed, I do also have it in my shop where you can get it printed and shipped to you. But I fill this one out at the beginning of every single year. So for 2026, we will have a brand new one, and I am going to write down all of my bills for a particular month. And then that way, every single time I am filling out my month, I always have this sheet to refer to. So knowing how much you have to pay in your bills every single month is almost like your baseline. It's going to help you to see where you are starting off with when you subtract your income from your bills. It shows you how much you have left over. So you will fill it out on your monthly calendar, and the other place where I will fill it out is on my monthly budget page. I have this section right here that is for bills, and this is where you list out all of your bills for the month. You can subtract it from your income, and then you can see how much money you have left over for everything else that's coming up. The second category is expenses. Now, what are your expenses? Your expenses are flexible, everyday spending categories that can change from month to month. The key characteristic to let you know that it is an expense is that there is no due date, the amount usually fluctuates, and it is an ongoing spending category. So some examples of these are groceries, gas, dining out, household items that you may need to purchase, personal spending, and things that you have to get for your kids. And since these are ongoing spending categories, that's why your expenses come after your bills, because we can kind of change these amounts if we need to. And your bills have to be paid. So after we subtract our income from our bills, we have a certain amount that we have left over. So for example, here I have $5,800 minus $3464.63 in bills, which means I have $2,335.37 for all of my other expenses. That's the number that I am considering when I set how much I'm going to spend on groceries, on restaurants, on gas. So I decided $1,200 is going to go toward groceries, $300 toward dining out, and then $200 toward gas. But the great thing about your expenses is as the month is going on, you may decide to adjust these numbers, and you are going to be able to do that because they are flexible. You might decide to get different things from the grocery store. You may change up the meals so they are a little bit cheaper. You might decide not to dine out at all for a particular month, or you may even decide to drive less to bring down the number of gas. But because it's not a bill, because it's an expense, you have a little bit more flexibility here. And this is why you want to separate them, because you have flexibility here. If you look at your expenses as a bill, then it may seem like you have no control over how much you're spending under these categories. It may feel like it's a fixed number. Like every time you go to the grocery store, I have to spend $300 or I have to spend $400, which in reality, you may be able to adjust this based on what you decide to eat for that particular week or what coupons the stores that you are currently going to have. So I like to keep my expenses in two different areas. I have this area here that is called variable expenses. So right after my bills, I will write down all of my variable expenses and I will keep track of how much I have spent there on my monthly budget page. But I also have my monthly expense tracker. So the monthly expense tracker is where I can write down the date, the description, the category, and how much I have spent. This is the space where I am keeping track of my variable expenses as we go throughout the month. So if I need to make adjustments, if I realize I am spending too much from week to week, this is where I will make those adjustments. Now, in the past, I have tracked my expenses daily. Lately, I have been doing weekly, and then certain months I will take off. Like I always take off in the month of December, and that is just because so much is going on with Christmas. I am in the middle of Vlogmas. I'm working a lot, so I know I won't have time to fill this out, but we will get started back on this in January. And lately, I have been doing it on a weekly basis. I will look at all of the expenses that are coming out of my spending account every single week, and then I will jot down everything that I've spent for a week, see where we are, and see if I need to make any adjustments to my monthly number. But these are the numbers that you can adjust throughout the month. So your bills are fixed. You don't have much control over them, but your variable expenses are flexible. They are adjustable. So you can adjust as you go. So I will fill out all of my expenses for the week on my monthly expense tracker. And then I also have my monthly budget check-in page. My monthly budget check-in page is where I can write down the category. I can write down how much I have spent in that category and write down how much I have remaining in that category. So once again, I am able to adjust once I get to this page, and I am filling this out at the end of every single week. So I will fill out all of my weekly expenses, and then I will come over here. I will write down the category. I will say that this is for week 1, and then I will write down how much I have spent and how much I have left over. And then based on what I have left over, I might make some adjustments to that overall category for the month. But this is the spot where I am keeping track of my expenses as a whole, and then I will move it over to my monthly budget check-in page. After After I have finished filling this one out for the month at the end of the 4th week, I will move it over to my monthly budget check-in, and then I will fill out my actual section here so that I can close out my budget and see exactly how I did. I will put it under the actual category, and this will tell me if I'm under budget, if I went over budget, or if we are right on target. And the last category is your sinking funds. Now, your sinking funds are money that you need to save for future expenses. And this is money that we usually have to save slowly because these expenses are usually larger. They require much more money, and we need to be prepared for those upcoming expenses. So what makes it a sinking fund? It's an expense that's planned in advance. It is not a monthly expense, but it is a predictable one, which means that we know that it is coming. So saving for it a little bit at a time prevents us from going over budget or trying to panic save. So a great example of this is Christmas. Christmas comes at the exact same time every single year. And so I always try and start to save around the end of July, early August for Christmas. And I'm saving a little bit at a time, August, September, October, and November, so that when December comes, I can start to spend the money that I have saved and start to purchase Christmas presents. So Christmas is a great example of a sinking fund, but others could be your car maintenance, birthdays, other holidays, school supplies, travel, any annual fees that you might have. I also do this for our car insurance, but just a big expense that could come up at the last minute, and you know you would not be able to put it within your monthly budget because most likely it's going to be too large. So how do I keep it in my planner? The first thing is I will add it within my planner. Now, I usually will separate these two where I have my expenses down here, but then I also have other savings that I am doing. And one of these savings is my short-term savings. So my short-term savings is the account where I will keep money for sinking funds. Sometimes I will also do this as a cash envelope if I am trying to pull money from the amount that I am spending. But a lot of times I will build it into my budget and put it into a separate savings account. I will add here how much I am planning on saving for the month, and I will also track it on my savings account tracker. So I have these trackers at the beginning of my planner, and they look like this, and it says savings trackers 1, but I have 3 of them within my planner, and I usually will use these for my short-term savings account, and I will break them down by the quarter because I can't save for all of my sinking funds throughout the year. So I usually like to break them down by the quarter because then I am able to focus in and save on a couple of events or a couple of things at the exact same time. So during quarter 1, I am saving for my daughter's birthday, our anniversary, and repairs. And so my goal is to get this number up to close to about $2,000 during the first quarter. And most times my account does not hit that exact number, but what I will do is break it down by the different expenses and when I need it by. So for instance, I need the first $600 by the end of January. Currently we have $335.79 in here, which means I need to save an additional $300 by the end of January, and I'm pretty sure I will be able to do that. But I need it by the end of January because that is when my daughter's birthday is. My oldest daughter, her birthday is at the end of January, and so I know I will need about $600 in order to cover her party and any presents that we are going to get for her. And so that is when I need the first amount. After that, I'm going to start focusing in on repairs because I like to have a certain amount of money just set aside for the year for repairs. And so the second goal is another $1,000. So even though I would have spent that first $600 already on her birthday, I will automatically move into my second goal, and that's to save another $1,000. And then my third goal is going to be to save for our anniversary. For our anniversary, I usually like to save about $400 just so we can do something fun. And so I will be saving for that as well in quarter 1. And so as you can see, the goal is kind of to save $2,000, but since I'm saving it at different points in time and I'm going to need it throughout the entire quarter, it won't be all at once. And so I'm going to be using my savings tracker in order to keep up with the current balance that I have in the account when I spend money out of this account, how much I have left over, and how much more I need to go. So this is going to be the thing that's really going to help me to keep track of where I am. I usually will add the different things that I am saving for at the very top here. Like I put Q1, I will usually add my daughter's birthday, and I will put $600, and the anniversary $400, and $1,000 for repairs. And then as I am saving and doing different things, I will highlight, I will check it off, I will let myself know here what I have done and what I still need to do. And so I will do that for Q1, and then I have another one for Q2, and we will adjust all of my sinking funds for the second quarter, because for the second quarter I am going to be saving for my youngest birthday, and I'm also going to be saving for my birthday and my husband's birthday. And since all of that happens within the second quarter, I will be really focused in on birthday savings, and that's the only thing that I'm going to be doing for the second quarter, which is why it's important that the first quarter is dedicated to repairs, because if I still needed to save for repairs, that might be too much for me to try and save for repairs and 3 birthdays. This is why I really like to break down my sinking funds. I like to break down when I am going to be saving for what, so that I am not overwhelmed and I don't feel like I am not making any progress or I don't have enough money to cover everything. And so I will do the exact same thing for the second quarter, and then the third quarter is when I start to save for Christmas. And usually with this one, I am saving for Christmas and for travel. But as you can see, I am saving for different things at different times, and I am keeping track of how much I have saved on these saving tracker sheets, so I know exactly how much is in the account. And then I will also keep track of how much I am setting aside in all of my savings accounts on my monthly budget page as well. So I will set aside a certain amount within my budget, and then if I am able to save a little bit more because I got an additional check or something else happened that I was not expecting, then I will put that money aside in my savings account as well. And then the other trackers that I have in here, like my savings jars, is where I keep up with our investing accounts. And the reason why I like to keep these on the jars is because I'm not doing any withdrawals here. And so I can easily highlight how much I'm putting in and the current balance that's going in for the year. And I don't have to worry about any withdrawals, because for the most part, once this money goes in here, it's going to stay in there for the long haul. So that's why I like to use the jars for that instead of my sinking funds, because with my sinking funds, money is coming in and out all of the time because I'm saving for a very short term thing. I'm saving for a birthday or an anniversary, and it's coming up within the next 3 months. So that's the difference between the sinking fund, the bills, and the expenses. And the reason why I wanted to talk about the difference between these three is because a lot of budget frustration happens when bills are treated like expenses and expenses are treated like surprises, and sinking funds just basically don't exist at all. We just kind of panic when things come up. And so paying attention to when a bill is coming and how much you need to set aside for groceries and gas, and paying attention to how much you're spending on a daily basis on those things, and making sure you keep in mind when a birthday is coming up or when you have a wedding or different things that you may have to purchase personally. All of that matters when you are setting up your budget. And this is what the budget planner can do for you. Your budget planner can help you to schedule all of your bills. It can help you to manage your expenses. It can help you to prepare for your sinking funds. This way you are not caught off guard. Your budget planner is the place where you can make your money way more predictable, where you can see how things are flowing in and out with your money, and you are able to stay on top of everything. Nothing's going to catch you off guard because it is all within your budget planner. So I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the topic because I saw how many of you enjoyed the previous video, and so I am hoping that this makes it even clearer as you are setting up your budget planner for the new year. So guys, I hope that this video has helped you, and let me know in the comments if you have any additional questions. I would love to talk to you, and I will see you all in my next video. Until then, keep organizing your life so that you can achieve your dreams. Bye guys.